Kulavinaka, my name is Litia and I'm from the beautiful island of Laos and I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
My name is Casey, I'm from Tabua. We love Today FM in Tabua. Today FM rocks.
My name is Selina, I'm from Tawenga Vengamba. I love listening to Today FM. Today FM rocks.
Pula, my name is Carlo. I love listening to the music in Today FM, in Malak Island. Today FM rock.
Today's hit music on Today FM.
In the news, cement shortage hits market. Over 700 child abuse and neglect cases recorded. And 8 million spent in post-disaster rehabilitation by Red Cross.
From the studios of FBC Suba, Amrita Sagar.
There is shortage of cement in the country. One of the biggest suppliers, Pacific Cement Limited, says they are unable to meet the increasing demand due to the old age of its factory, which suffers constant breakdowns. Kelly Vidala reports.
Lamy-based Pacific Cement Limited stopped production 2 weeks ago due to a major breakdown at its factory.
The local demand here in the country is big, more than what it used to be in the past. And the second reason is that our factory at the moment is experiencing some mechanical problem. So one of those primary parts or mechanical parts of the mill is actually giving up at the moment. So that is a 95-year-old part that is giving up. We have not really supplied anything because the factory has gone down.
The company has been operating for the past 60 years, supplying up to 500 tons of cement per day. Solwani Twindrola says it is difficult to find replacement parts.
We have ordered the parts 6 months ago through New Zealand, but it was actually manufactured in China, and we are expecting that around the end of July to be here.
As the use of cement grows every day, the cement shortage is becoming a major problem, and it is being felt by all hardware shops around the country. RC Manubai National Sales and Marketing Manager Oscar Dimel told FBC News the shortage is affecting their business.
They are not able to fulfill the market and demand, and they have told us that they are facing some production issues. So far it's very difficult because we are trying to supply to all our customers. It's hard time, because thing is everyone needs a business to be happen in prospective way in this country.
While Pacific Cement is trying its best to get the factory up and running as soon as possible, several attempts to take comments from Tenji Cement Limited, the other cement producing company, proved futile. Kelly Vadala, FBC News.
Fiji will take the main stage this week on the global front when it co-hosts the United Nations Oceans Conference in New York with Sweden. A first for Fiji and the UN, as delegates will witness a traditional ceremony of welcome by the Fiji military forces. At a briefing today to the Prime Minister, Fiji's Deputy Permanent Representative to the UN, Luken Daunivalu, said that New York and the UN are looking forward to this week's meeting. Aside from formal engagement, this week's conference will also include 160 side events. While here, Bainimarama will hold talks with senior government officials, UN officials and senior officials from the private sector.
Fiji and I expect us to give our best for this week's Ocean Conference. So let's give it the best we can, so we can keep Fiji on a high pedestal that we've been on in the last couple of years.
Over 700 cases of child abuse and neglect were reported to the Ministry for Women and Children in the last 8 months. Since the enactment of the Child Welfare Decree 2010, there has been a significant increase in such cases. Pranita Prakash reports.
Women Minister Mereseni Buniwanga says the message must go out to the nation that neglect and abuse of children will not be tolerated.
It's obvious that the role that parents play in relation to the rearing of children has changed over the years. So much so that there is now an expectation and more of an obligation on government to cover up where us as parents, our roles have weakened. It's now time to wake up. We parents need to wake up and reassess our role as parents, as caregivers.
A children's symposium was organized in the Western Division to create awareness and take action against child abuse and neglect.
And the Fiji Police Force have a no-drug policy on that in any case regarding to children. However, the Fiji Police Force will only allow children participating in the decision that will affect them through their parents and guidance.
People are being urged to speak out and report about any cases of child abuse and neglect to relevant authorities. Minister Vuniwaqa says the future of our nation will depend on how we treat our children today. Pranita Prakash, FBC News.
A man who was arrested for a case of drunk driving in Singatoka town this morning has also been charged with allegedly bribing an officer. While the suspect was being escorted to the Singatoka police station after midnight, it is alleged he tried to bribe the arresting officer with $20. The arresting officer seized the money and reported the matter. He has since been charged with drink and drive and an added charge of bribery. He will be produced at the Singatoka Magistrates Court tomorrow. Now, the Fiji Red Cross Society has spent around $8 million for rehabilitation post-tropical cyclone Winston. And the society says there are still a lot of people out there who need their assistance. Senia Nimboila reports.
There is still a lot left to do under post-disaster rehabilitation.
Our TC Winston appeal is finishing in July. 2 days ago, we met with our partners in a coordination meeting to see how Fiji Red Cross can continue to work, because the needs out there are so great after our appeal ends, which ends in July.
The society has 16 branches around the country and will continue rehabilitation until December.
We received, as you know, close to more than $8 million in assistance in the appeal. In our assessments, we have spent all of that money. For us to continue to finish, we will need support from our partners to fill in the gap that's there.
President Major General retired Chochi Konrote has urged the society to work with the government to help rebuild our communities.
We cannot operate effectively without some form of national coordination and sharing of information. Very important. To operate in isolation will result in the potential duplication of effort. But the key concern is that both government and the Red Cross could miss assisting those who are in genuine need of assistance.
The society says compared to other countries, they do not face issues with volunteers. Around 250 staff and volunteers are part of the rehabilitation. Of these, 70% are youths. Sainiani Mboila, FBC News.
Still to come, LTA works on proper fare model for carrier operators. And in tonight's Successful Fijian segment, we speak to multi-talented Ranjani Lata. Details after the break.
Nimbula binaka na yalangunga andi moala rarara ranalika o tikonga na tao ni Singatoka ando talitaka na bakaronga ng Bula FM nambandua na serre.
Ya dora subuli kurna bili. Ibora ni bat sekarang hambara binaranga. Do talitakina na baronga ng Bula FM nambandua na serre. Bula.
Bula FM nambandua na serre.
The Land Transport Authority is working on introducing a proper fare model for all licensed carriers. Carrier operators are currently charging fares on an ad hoc basis based on verbal agreements between drivers and passengers. Chief Executive Carmine Piantedosi says these are public service vehicles carrying the public and they must come under a prescribed fare structure. With the help of the Commerce Commission, LTA is now formulating a proper service fee model that should be fair on both the passengers and carrier drivers. There are close to 300 licensed carrier operators in the country. Out of the 600 cases of kidney failure recorded annually, only 10% are able to afford dialysis treatment. The alarming revelations were made at a charity dinner last night at the Outrigger Fiji Beach Resort and Spa in Singatoka. Pranita Prakash tells us more.
Specialist nephrologist at the Kidney Hub Suva, Dr. Amrish Krishnan, says he is saddened by the fact that young patients are losing their lives.
I face 17-year-olds who we couldn't give treatment to. because they didn't have money. In the last 2 years, I've lost about a dozen young people under the age of 25 because they don't have enough money for dialysis.
12-year-old Ravavo Namviri of Navua is the youngest patient diagnosed with chronic kidney failure. The Outrigger Resort organized a charity dinner as part of the community initiative to raise funds for Naviri's treatment.
Currently his kidneys are operating at about 3% of their capacity. He requires dialysis 3 times a week at the cost of $750 per week. So being a young son of an electrician from the regional town of Navura, as I mentioned, it's a pretty grim outlook for a family.
Plan is also to send Naviri for overseas treatment.
So our plan with the funds that we raised tonight is to raise enough money for at least 6 months worth of dialysis treatment, which can be conducted here in Fiji, based in Suva. And we're giving ourselves 6 months to find a compatible donor that can then travel to India with Ravovo and his family and undertake the transplant.
The resort managed to raise $10,000 last night, and prior to this event, they raised more than $13,000. Meanwhile, the Ministry of Health and Medical Services is also reassessing its approach to pediatric kidney diseases. Pranita Prakash, FBC News.
The construction of the new sealed runway in Rotuma is expected to transform the Rotuman economy. Airports Fiji Limited Executive Chair Faiz Khan says after the upgrades of ATR 72S will take around 70 passengers with greater certainty on flight times and frequency. Khan says the total project will cost around $13 million and will complete by March next year.
With the transportation to Rotuma becoming easier, we can only imagine the developments that will take place in Rotuma. There could be developments in tourism and other industries.
Something that they've been crying for over the years. Well, for this transporting commodities and opening other development for the island, which will benefit the people as a whole.
Giving up an opportunity to become a doctor 2 decades ago did not stop Ranjini Latha from pursuing her other dreams. Tonight, we bring you the success story of a housewife, a farmer and a truck driver who says achievements come through faith, hard work and dedication. Rohit Deo has more.
Successful Fijians is brought to you by the Fiji Development Bank, your partner in progress.
It's not an unusual sight seeing a woman drive these days, but controlling a 10-wheeler truck may not be everyone's cup of tea. But for Ranjini Latha, this is her routine.
Thanks to my mother-in-law, when she was with us, I used to help my husband mostly in driving. Whenever he got extra jobs, so I used to go and drive his 5-ton truck. Do the job, even take to Namosi or Nimasimasi village. After that, sometimes I have to go in the farm.
Latha was born in Singatoka and got married in Navua 24 years ago. She chose family over her dream profession, but that did not stop her from venturing into other work that kept her close to family.
I could have done my school, should have gone to the tertiary school, but couldn't do it.
She looks after her family's fish business, the farm, does trucking, and just like any other woman, keeps her home in order. Latha has 4 children, out of which 2 have started walking, and she says she can now slowly pull the handbrake.
I'm now starting to sell a little bit, do the maintenance and sell some of my business. Like the trucks, I just want to sell it out. Because my husband, the age-wise we are looking and the kids have grown up, so we don't want to pressure ourselves.
Latha says strength and growth comes only through continuous effort and struggle.
When the kids are very small, go to school and you look after, this is a big extended family. So you have to maintain the housework, you have to look after your business, then you have to help your husband. So it was very challenging for me.
Originally from Valley Road, Latha could have had a white-collar job, but says she has no regrets with the life she chose.
Because I know whatever I just wanted to do in every field, I have done most of the things I have done myself. Because I never thought I was going to be a truck driver with a manual gear like that, but now it's the only lady in Navua.
Her message to other women is to keep driving towards your goal and you'll surely get what you want one day. The mother of 4 is trying her best to upbring her children in such a way that they do not go through the struggles she went through.
Kids, up till now they were schooling and now they are working, so not much. Yeah, because they are still too young.
A woman who drives a truck, sells fish, looks after the farm and most importantly, takes care of her family is an inspiration to anyone. If there is anything to be learned from this woman, it is to keep striving no matter how difficult the path is. Rohit Deo, FBC News.
Successful Fijians was brought to you by the Fiji Development Bank, your partner in progress.
Coming up in FBC Sports, Flying Fijians leave for Australia. And Neita Siri eyes top 4 spot. This and more after the break.
मैं प्रेमिला वायरुकू रेकी रेकी से सुबह मेरी आँख खुलती है तो मैं मिर्ची एफएम सुनती हूँ। मिर्ची एफएम इज नंबर 1, इट्स सो हॉट।
हम लोग बार टाउन के कैरियर ड्राइवर लोगों ने हम लोग के मिर्ची एफएम सुनो अच्छा लगे। मिर्ची एफएम इज हॉट।
हाय, मैं संध्या नारिया रेफरी से मेरे सारे दोस्त मिर्ची एफएम सुनते हैं। मिर्ची एफएम इज हॉट, आई लव मिर्ची एफएम।
हमें स्पिन तो ताबू है कि मिर्ची एफएम में सबसे अच्छा गाना बजे।
मिर्ची एफएम, इट्स हॉट।
The poor performances by the Australian rugby teams in the Super Rugby matches will not have an effect on the mindsets of the Vodafone Flying Fijian players. The John McKee coach team left our shores earlier today for the test against the Wallabies next weekend. Rohit Deo reports.
The final goodbyes before they flew out for an all-important match against the Aussies.
I think it's great. It's a big challenge for us in Melbourne next Saturday, but it's also an opportunity. You know, for us, I think we've really got to concentrate on our game and what we need to do to be successful in this game.
McKee says if we play our best game, then we just might scare Australia on their home turf.
It's going to be a big challenge for us, and you know, in some ways, I wouldn't read too much into the Super Rugby results and think that it may be an easier game. I mean, when they come together and you know they'll be a formidable opponent. But you know, if we can be our absolute best, and we will need to be absolute best, I believe we can really challenge them next week.
Santa Vereniki Ngoneva knows what it takes to battle the Wallabies and says this team is capable of doing that.
Lots of new faces in the team, and I know they know the big challenge ahead of us, and it's going to be a big challenge for a few tough games in front of us.
We play Australia in Melbourne on Saturday. McKee will name his run-on team on Thursday. Rohit Deo, FBC Sports.
The Neita Siri rugby side has extended its lead in the Skipper Cup competition and looks set to make it to the semi-finals. The Highlanders were a class in their 28-15 win over rivals in Suva yesterday. Rohit Deo with the story.
The win against Suva yesterday has put Neita Siri in a strong position to qualify for the last 4. The Highlanders had a game plan and they walked towards it.
The pick up and go forward.
For us, the game plan was to come and try and run Suva down in the first 30 minutes because we know that they're a bigger pack. And if we can run them down in the first 20 minutes, wear them down, we should be able to dominate them in the scrum and the set pieces. And I think that's what we did.
Gets it out.
Coach Kolise Wambu says his team may be in good form, but are yet to hit top gear.
And Neita Siri get the second try in.
We still really haven't executed what we wanted to do well. Our ball retention today was not that great, and I think if we would have kept the ball a lot more often, we should be able to have, put some more points, get some bonus points today.
Captain Saramaya Naure Ure thanked his team for a gallant effort.
I just want to thank the boys for the hard work that we have done this afternoon. Want to thank the Lord for giving us strength and power for the game today.
Neita Siri plays Northland in their second last round robin match next Saturday and will need to win that to maintain its top spot. Rohit Deo, FBC Sports.
The Brumbies secured first place in the Australian Conference with a 32-3 bonus point victory over the Rebels in Super Rugby match last night. The wet conditions made handling of the ball difficult, which resulted in a number of unforced errors. Fijian wonder boy Roy Krishna has joined the Vodafone Fiji football team camp in preparations for the matches against New Caledonia. Krishna will start training from tomorrow when the team shifts camp from Suva to the west. Coach Christophe Gamel says his inclusion will give the team a huge boost.
Join us in the afternoon. And after, I will try to manage him by the best way to him going on the field and perform. I don't know how long time.
The Fiji Table Tennis Association celebrated the 40th anniversary of ITTF Oceania yesterday. More than 50 children turned up for the fun day at MySuva Park and got a feel of playing the sport. The numbers in the sport is slowly growing and the future does look bright.
We are so happy for the turnout of our program today. We didn't expect the amount of people coming to join our celebration, but yeah, we're thankful to everyone who have come to join our fun day today.
South Africa came through some tricky moments to see off Sri Lanka by 96 runs in their ICC Champions Trophy opener. Hashim Amla stroked a calm 103, but some disciplined Sri Lanka bowling kept the Proteas to 299 to 6. And here are the highlights.
It's just tucked away on the leg side. And Hashim Amla has just helped himself to ODI 100 number 25. That's how good he is.
He gets that one away. It's the whole way. Half volley, targeted leg side, and did it superbly over deep mid wicket.
Down to third man, should be taken. Who's underneath it? It's Wayne Parnell.
This could be the fourth wicket. It should be. JP Duminy settles and takes it comfortably. So once again, Imran Tahir into the attack, makes the play for South Africa.
WBC light heavyweight champion Stevenson has successfully retained his title. The 39-year-old defeated Fonfara in the second round after the referee had to stop the fight. Let's take a look.
Second round action. Lana Stevenson. Huge advantage in the opening round over Fonfara.
Has 3 straight right hands. Virgil Hunter's going to try and stop this fight. He doesn't want to see anything.
That's it. Virgil Hunter has seen enough. Smart intervention. Yeah, there are some fighters you can crawl out of the hole against, but this is not one of them.
No, it is a dangerous proposition. Like, even if Fonfara can stand up to that, it is not good for the long-term health of your fighter.
You know, the first fight is sure, but I know Fonfara is very dangerous. He's a good fighter, and so I was very focused on him, and that's why you know what I'm saying. And I catch him when I have the chance to catch him. I catch him, you know.
You can watch the replay of the fight at 11 tonight on FBC TV. Cloudy conditions was experienced over most parts of the group today, apart from some showers over western Viti Levu, the eastern parts and interior of the larger islands. The west experienced clouds with a few showers. Ba was the hottest at 32 and Nandi was cool at 29 degrees. Now eastwards from Pacific Harbour to Suva, it was mostly cloudy with afternoon showers. Temperatures dropped to 28 degrees. And all the way up in Vanua-Levu, fine weather prevailed in Lambasa with temperatures reaching a scorching 33 degrees. Sabu Sabu was cooler though at 28 degrees. At sea, east to southeast winds 15 to 20 knots and moderate to rough seas, moderate southwest swells. Now the next low tide is at 9:15 p.m. with a high tide at 3:37 tomorrow morning. Sunrise will be at 6:32. Forecast for tomorrow. Cloudy periods with occasional showers, heavy at times and few thunderstorms over Yasawa and the Mamanuca group, western Viti Levu, Kandavu and nearby smaller islands, the eastern parts and the interior of the other larger islands as well. The outlook for Tuesday, cloudy periods with some showers and possible thunderstorms over the eastern parts and the interior of the larger islands. Recapping our main story, cement shortage hits market. Over 700 child abuse and neglect cases recorded. And Flying Fijians leave for Australia for the test match against the Wallabies. For For these stories and others, you can tune in daily to our sister radio station, Gold FM. To our poll question, this week we are asking, are certain politicians taking advantage of sugarcane farmers for their own gain? Visit our FBC website to answer. You can send us newsworthy pictures and videos on email fbcnews@fbc.com.fj or share it with us via our Facebook page FBC News, or you can also follow and tweet us your news tips at FBC News or simply #FBC News. Until next time, good night.
I'm Anare Sorbakura of Neabu Wenibuga Telebu. Whenever I want to tune in to listen to great music, I always tune in to my favorite radio station, Gold FM, only the classic.
My name is Lita. We love listening to Gold FM here at the Fiji Hideaway Resort and Spa. Gold FM, only the classic hits.
We here at Kano Waterfront Lautoka love listening to Gold FM, only the classic hits.
Gold FM, only the classic hits.